Seen as I am, it's Lady Danielle.
Peeling back the layers, I don't need no more. God's promises are true, He designed the score. This kind of confidence wasn't built on my own. Finally walking in this place I've not known. All I really wanna be is seen as I am, right here as God has promised me as I am.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, my voice sounds a little bit better today. It is the day of the Lord, and He's made it because the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. So we're going to have a remarkably great day today. Teachers and staff, it's time to love on the children. Even the ones who challenge you the most, love them. Love them, love them, love them. Teach them to the best of your ability. If they're not listening, they're going to be listening. I promise, they're going to listen. Some of them are listening. They're just not showing it, okay? I pray that you will be strengthened today by my Father, that He will carry you this day mentally, emotionally, physically, in the name of Jesus, and that you shall conquer today on this fourth day of school, or it may be a second week of school for most, but y'all have a blessed day, okay? And don't let nobody, absolutely nobody, mess it up for you. Protect your day, protect your peace and your joy. In Jesus' name, amen. Bye-bye. I just want to know, what's in the water lately? Is there something in the water? Because it's just the fourth day of school, and it's giving mid-year. It's giving end of year. So how is the end of year going to be? I wonder. Yeah, we have about what? About 4 more weeks for them to get together. I said I was gonna give them a month. Give them a month. Yeah, I just don't know, like, what's happening. What are these people drinking? Because clearly there's something in the water. I mean, my voice is already, like, in and out as it is. Allergens and having to constantly tell the same people since the beginning of the school year, which is only 3 days ago, last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, to sit, to stop talking, to turn around. Get down, please. And I already called your parents, so evidently that don't help. So what's next? Same thing again until parents get tired of me calling. Yeah. And I'm not going to even say that because some people say ignore. I can't when you are sitting in front of the class and you are causing others to pay attention to you and not pay attention to the teacher who is trying to teach things that you don't know actually. And you don't even know how to read, and you're in first grade. I mean, not even some. How do we do that? How did we miss that part? Because I thought we were reading in first grade. I guess I need to stop thinking about when I first taught first grade almost 4 years ago, because they read. Some not as, as good as others, but they knew how to read. What had happened? What happened? What's going on? Can somebody please tell me what's going on? Because I thought that when you get to first grade, you at least know the basics. That's what I thought. Because, again, the students I taught before in both classes, they could read. they were not on the same level, but they could read. So so today was the first day that I actually got to see what I was really working with. And we had a lot of work to do. Yeah, we have a lot of work to do, behavioral wise as well as academic wise, because we need to be reading in first grade. And then one of the students that I had to call on Friday, I had to call his dad on Friday. He was crying today when I sectioned them off into their groups, right? While I worked with the 4 that I was assessing to see where they were with their reading. I have 2 that read fairly well, and one he did pretty good for his he did pretty good. And then I had one, she did pretty good too. So I had 2 that did really good, pretty good, and then I had 2 that did really good. So that was good. On tomorrow, I'm going to assess the rest. Another group. I have about 5 small groups. I have now 21 students. And the 2 that were, oh my God, I just missed my stop. The 2 that, or did I? Maybe not. The 2 that did not show up last week, 3 days missed, y'all. Who does that? They were doing the most today. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I just met you. You just met me. Why are we showing out already? And it's like, you can look at it as a negative, but at the same time, I'm seeing what I'm working with, so I can see what I need to do to turn it around. Because I will not be dealing with that all year. You're not going to make my job hard. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get these behaviors in order. So I'm going to give them a month. And that's it. If we're still doing what we're doing after a whole month, then yeah, I'm going to take it up a notch. And we're going to be writing notices and more consequences. So your first consequences is kind of fairly, a little silent lunch here or there. The second one is a phone call home. The third one is a discipline notice. I don't know which one is worse. Is it the phone call home? Because it seems like, they don't want you to call their parent home. They don't want you to call their parents. But at the same time, you're giving fakery. When I say, do I need to call home? You want to, pull out the fire, the tear works, and it doesn't faze me. I had to get one little girl solid lunch because she was just doing the most. She's been doing the most since she got there, right? She's been doing the most. And how many times can I talk to you today to say, hey, I need you to sit still. I need you to do what you're supposed to be doing. I need you to not be on top of the desk. Not like her whole body, but enough of it to where she was on top of the desk, okay? And when I finally I've already given you your warnings, right? 3 warnings. And when I give you your consequence that you earned, you want to let I keep saying fireworks, but it's the waterworks flow, ma'am. And then come over to hug me. That's not going to work for me. You can't manipulate me, baby girl. Oh, I appreciate your hug, but you still have silent lunch. And so I talked to her. I said, now, I have been talking to you since since the first day of school. And I've given you chances to fix it, and you have not fixed it. So Miss Danielle loves you enough to make sure that you can fix it. So I'm going to give you this silent lunch that you've earned. Now, I didn't do it, but you did. I'm putting it back on her because I didn't do it. I didn't tell you to do all that you've been doing all morning and on the carpet, and you one of the ones that sit in the front and you're doing all the things. I mean, bothering students. She was trying to play in this one little girl's hair. She was like, stop. I'm like, ma'am, can we not? I said, so this is what we're going to be doing? Absolutely not. So I said, yes, I love you enough. I said, Miss Danielle loves you. So if I didn't, I would not care. I would not even give you a consequence to help you change your behavior. I said, but you need to think about what you're doing. Your parents didn't send you here to, cut up. Yes, they're in first grade, but I talk to them as if they're older. I don't care. They're little human people. They can understand. And they're going to learn how to do, to work on their impulse control. Because I talk to them that way. I know they're young, but they're capable. Even if they have a disability, it still says able in that disability, okay? You just have to do it a different way. Yeah. And one of my students got in trouble in the gym for hitting a student 3 times. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Why are we doing this? It's just the 4th day of school. Is that a part of your impulse control? I've already told you, and all of you, I laid down the law, and we talked about it again before I sent you off to your large group, that our boundary is right here. This is where you live. This is where you live. When you come out of this place that you live in, that's when you're headed for trouble. You need to ask for help. Because I guarantee you, if you don't ask for help and you try to handle it on your own, you will get in trouble. Because again, teachers rarely see the beginning of the situation. We rarely see the problem in the beginning, how it started. We get the tail end because we're dealing with other students. So when will they believe? When will they believe what I'm saying is true? I'm gonna make up a song about this thing. What in the world is that? I'm sorry, I got distracted. I saw something that didn't look like something it was supposed to look like. I'm sorry. So, okay, let me get back. But yeah. It's okay. I was built for this. I was built for this, and I'm gonna keep doing what I gotta do, even though it gets tiring. It's like I hate repetitiveness like that. Well, guess what? My Father does the same when you don't get what He's trying to show you, and I'm talking about my Heavenly Father. When we're hard-headed as well, when we're not in obedience, when we're not doing what we know that we should be doing, and even if we don't know, we need to ask, right? But when we keep doing the same thing over and over again, that gets us into trouble. There are consequences, and He warns us too. His grace is indeed sufficient, but baby, I guarantee that grace on that one thing is going to run out, because I heard it before. It's going to run out. And you have to know that, hey, I've and He tells you, I've warned you, I've sent warnings. I've warned you, you're not listening to me. You're not listening to my still small voice. I'm sending outside warnings to you. I'm allowing these things to happen to get your attention, but you're not listening. So I'm taking directives from my Father. Man, why do I get choked up all the time when I'm talking about you, Lord? Oh my goodness. I just love Him like that though. And He loves me enough to correct my behavior. So absolutely, I'm going to love them enough to correct their behavior. Whatever it takes. That's our motto. Whatever it takes. I am here for it, because I know that you can do better. It's a choice. I don't do excuses. I have 2 autistic boys. I expect them to do what I ask them to do, based on what I know that they can do. Okay, my oldest son is the stubbornest one. The stubbornest one. I don't even know if that's a word. But I know what he can do. I know what he can't do, and I know what he won't do. Okay. He's one that will take his time. You tell him to do something. Sometimes, depending on what it is, he's starting to do it quickly, right? Or quicker than he used to. Other things, he takes his sweet time. Like yesterday, for instance. This is stubbornness right here. Just pure defiance. Yes, he's almost 26, but his mind is still not 26. It's less than that. It's like he's still in the adolescent years or something. He has a tendency to put things away. I appreciate his efforts. I really, really do. I appreciate Eric's efforts of putting things away where they're supposed to be. He doesn't like to see things like dishes and things in the sink. I appreciate that, sir. But what he does that we cannot do, and he did not allow me to teach him how to properly put things away, meaning put a little soap on there and wipe it down a little bit and then put it in the dishwasher, okay? Or just clean it. We don't do all that. So what he does is, which is so gross, by the way, he'll take a spoon and he will turn the water on and he will allow the water to get in the spoon and he puts it in his mouth and then he puts it away. No, sir, we don't do that. Or he'll take a bowl, he sees stuff in like pots and pans and bowls and things like that. He sees it in the sink, and instead of putting it in the dishwasher, which I've showed him several times to put it in the dishwasher, he puts it in the cabinet. So I asked him yesterday, I said, Eric, I need you to take that bowl out of the cabinet and put it in the dishwasher, sir. And so he hesitated, and that's how I know he's listening. He like, no, I'm just gonna close it. I said, I know my children. You gotta know your kids. You gotta know your kids. And so as soon as I get up, I said, oh, you just gonna be defined. Okay. So I get up because I'm gonna go do it myself because I needed to. If I should have had a video. That boy got up so fast because he went and sat down at the table. He got up so fast to beat me over there, and he took it out. See, that's what I'm talking about. He has autism, y'all, and he's nonverbal. Stop allowing these disabilities as food, y'all. If you're a parent or even a teacher, don't let them trick you. Kids are manipulative. Human beings, is in our nature. We manipulate. And we want to do what we want to do. That's the truth. So with that said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that they think before they act. Because I'm that person that why am I talking so loud? I don't even know. Calm down, girl. I'm getting into that point. And it depends on what it is, because I didn't know I was in disobedience with regards to my son, Eric. Okay? And that's another story. I'll talk about that later. But I didn't realize I was in disobedience until God, it's like, what? What? I am, Lord? Oh my God. And it just broke my heart. He said that I made my son an idol. I'm like, how? Like, because something needed to happen with him as far as like him being on medication. I'll just go and tell it. He needed to be on medication. And because he's nonverbal, I don't do medication like that. I don't even like medication. I take it as needed, right? And I have to be in some major pain for me to even take it, right? But because of him being nonverbal, I can't ask him, Eric, are you depressed? I can't even tell if he's depressed because he can't speak, right? So I'm thinking I'm protecting my son, which in some ways I am, but at the same time, he's tearing up stuff. He's hitting everybody in the household. We're not like just taking it. No, none of us. No, we ain't just taking it. We weren't just taking it, right? We're fighting back. But who wants to be fighting their kid? Who wants to be fighting their brother all the time? But if he's attacking us, we were defending ourselves. We're not that kind of family that's gonna let you just up and hit. I'm your mama. You ain't gonna just up and hit. Nah. So when the Lord said that to me, He said, "You've made your son an idol. You're putting him before me." I was like, Lord, oh my God. I just started crying, and I repented because I didn't realize that's what I was doing. And it's like we needed to get him some help, and the only way that we were told that it was going to happen is that he would have to go into a facility. The Lord knew I did not want him to go into a facility, y'all. I didn't want him to go because I feel like I was throwing my child away. That's my child. He's God's, but he came through me. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about as a mother. He's nonverbal. I'm thinking, something's going to happen to him. Because nobody's going to take care of your child but better than you. Okay? And so, long story short, I'm getting ready to take my STR. Science of Teaching Reading, right? This is during the summertime last year, July, toward the end of the month. I'm getting ready to take it. The day before, I was just bawling. Just, oh my God. Lord, I can't, this is too hard. I can't do it, Lord. I can't do it. It's too hard. But I wanted to be in obedience to him. So I was preparing myself to do it. That was on a Monday. My test was on that Tuesday, I believe. 5-hour test and some change. And I'm like this. And my insides are just yeah. And every time I thought about it, I just wanted to cry. Sitting there and taking the test. Sitting there taking the test, y'all. Something that I need to pass. But I had to snap myself out of it. And then when I left from there, I said, Lord, I don't even know if I passed or not. It's going to be a miracle if I did, because, woo. As soon as my husband came and picked me up, and people were trying to rush me. Don't rush me. I don't like being rushed like that. Not like that. Let me, Then my husband, this was the night before, he started bawling. The night, And so when he came and picked me up, I immediately went to buy a couple of pair of pants, a couple of shirts, some socks, and some tennis shoes for my son to get him ready to go where he was going to go. And we got home, 911 was called, and the police officers came, because that was the only way that the facility was going to take him, is that if you took call 911. And he had already broken the window again. This is the second time, right? Because of those fits and those rages. All demonically inspired, coupled with him not being able to communicate. And so, called them, followed them to Bentop Hospital, and was there from whatever time they came to like maybe 3-something that morning, I think. And they had to see what was going on with him. So when I came back there, because I know all their information and everything, when I came back there, he was fine. He was still with the officer. They had my baby in handcuffs, y'all. Now you already know. But I was maintaining. My husband, he broke down when he saw that. I didn't even go outside. I was kind of like, just like in almost like a numbing mode. And so when the officer had him back there, he was fine. And then all of a sudden, the nurse came out, and he tried to kick her. He kicked me twice. The only reason I did not fight him, because I didn't want to go to jail, because there was, I'm saying, there was witnesses. Because you don't know. He knows he don't do that. We don't do that. So he kicked me. But they had him. It had the officer that was with him, and then the other 6 that worked, at least 6 of them that came, big tall guys. So they all escorted my son to the next place, and they had to put him in the bed. And I told them, you need to restrain him, because he's not going to cooperate with you all. He's very strong. You need to restrain him. This is mama, because I know my child. And I asked them, I said, do y'all have some kind of a sedative or something, But they were already going to give him the medicine, right? Because they needed to see it. And so they gave him that medicine, and it calmed him down. And we moved into another room, and he was okay. They didn't give him like a big dosage or anything, just something to just take the edge off, to calm him down or whatever. It was a behavior medication. And he was doing good. He slept a little bit. And then when my husband came back there, he started coming out of it a little bit, my son. And I was talking to the psychiatrist, and he was like, you really look like you love your son, and this is hard for you, blah, blah, blah. He said, I'm just going to be honest with you. I have another young man who's about 21 who's out there. About 20, he was 20 something. He was in the bed somewhere out there. He was not in a room, y'all. And he said, I'm looking for a bed for him. He said, it's going to be about the same. We don't have any beds for your son. And because your son is nonverbal, this won't be the place for him. But if you want us to, try or whatever, all they're going to do really is just to, if he gets upset, they're just going to medicate him. And that's all they're going to be able to do, because he doesn't talk, this and the other. And so I'm like, well, I don't know what to do, sir. I said, because he's tearing up our house. I don't want to leave him. I really don't. And I started crying and whatever. And so anyway, he left out. Then later on, As I said, my son was coming out of the medication was wearing out, because like I said, they didn't give him a lot, just enough to knock the edge, just to take the agitation away, or calm it down or whatever. So then this lady came in, and she was, like they have sitters that watch, or whatever. He got out of the bed. My husband is sitting right here. I said, Eric, you need to get up, because he's about to attack. He's about to attack me. My husband did not move quick enough, y'all. He didn't attack me. He tried. He really did, because I'm quick with it. So he grabbed him, and then all those cops that came before, they came back, and so they gave him another dose. And so at that point, I think, if I remember correctly, I think they restrained him again. But I had to leave, because I was just obeying God. I was just obeying God. And so as we were leaving, like I said, it was about 3-something that morning, the next day. And we were walking out, and I just was breaking down. Every step I took away from him, I just began to break down, because this is not what I wanted to do. It was not what I wanted to do. But I was obeying my Father. He knows best. And when we finally got home, but we went to go eat, and my other son was like, Mama, you okay? I'm like, I didn't want to eat. Nothing tasted good. Nothing tasted good. Nothing I drank, nothing I ate, I tried to eat tasted good. I just was in that state. And so I did finally lay down when we got home, probably around almost close to 5, but I didn't sleep. I kept calling to check on my son to make sure he was okay. And the second psychiatrist called me, he said basically the same thing the other one did. We could keep him, but this is this is not really a place for him, because he's nonverbal, yada yada yada. And I said, I don't know what to do. I don't want him to stay there, but I want him to not tear up our house, because we still have evidence of him tearing up that room that he was in, his room, him and his brother's room. And so maybe about 9 or close to 10, the doctor called back, and he said, come and pick up your son. I was like, what now? He said, come and pick up your son. He said, we're going to give him this medication, and he's going to get this injection shot that's going to keep him calm. He just needs to come back every month, once a month, to get his injection shot, and he'll be fine. And we're going to also prescribe an emergency dose that you can give him, like if you feel like it's wearing off before he gets to us, do it at night, and then we go from there. So that was, like I said, the end of July, early August. And so you got to do what you got to do to help your child. But God answered my prayer that my son did not have to go to a facility. It's all about trust. It's all about obedience. I don't even remember how I got to this part, but I know I'm talking to a parent who has a child who's disabled. I know I'm not talking about you putting your child, because I would never advocate for that. I don't know how people do it, but everybody is different. I couldn't do it, but God made it He did it in such a way that my son has help. He got help. He's been calm. He's not torn up anything since that time. It's been a year now. Only negative side effect is that he was gaining weight, but that also had to do with his other issue that he has, Hirschsprung's disease, where he can't push bowel through. Because he was missing this nerve cell that helps us contract and push, our bowel, our feces through. And so it had gotten backed up, and so it blew him up, y'all. I mean, fluid blew him up. But that medicine also makes you gain weight too. So all of that together. And so that's why he was in the hospital, the latter part of last year, or I think it was earlier this year. It was earlier this year, I believe, to get that fluid off of him. But it's about trust. It's about loving your child enough to do what you have to do that you don't want to do, but you got to do it. And you got to trust God. So that's the same way I feel about my students. I see, the reports, if they have disabilities or whatever. I even see in some of their behaviors that those things that are not documented, that I'm sensing, I'm discerning, could be, a problem. And I just want them to have help. So I'm helping them the best I can with the Lord's help. And so whatever it takes is what I'll do. If it takes me calling parents, if it takes me writing them up, if it takes me putting them in silent lunch to get that behavior changed, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it in love. And they know every child I've taught since I've been in teaching, since I've been in the public school district, they know that I love them because I tell them. I do this because I love you. If I didn't love you, if I didn't even care about you, I would let you do whatever you want to. Because you do have some teachers like that. I don't know any of them personally, but that's what I've heard. And no, people that, well, that's not what I signed up for, ma'am, sir. That's what happens. That's the job. Unfortunately, that's the job. But at the same time, it's a part of teaching. You can't teach them anything academic-wise until the behaviors get under control. And that means you have to do what you got to do to make sure that the parents are aware. Because it's going to come to a point to where the parents are going to say, okay, something is not right. Hopefully. And I'm trying to help them now before they grow up and it becomes worse and worse. And then you find yourself in jail or dead. I'm trying to save their lives the best I can because I follow the word of God. And, even though I did not birth any of them, I look at them and I treat them as mine. I can't spank them. I ain't gonna do that. But the rod of correction is still the same. It's disciplining them. It's giving them the consequences that they may not have ever received. No is a complete sentence, is what I've been hearing on Facebook. No, you cannot do what you want to do in this classroom. Absolutely not. You're not going to disturb others in their education. If you don't want to learn, okay, I'll talk to your parent and let them know that you're not learning. One kid told me that I don't want to learn. Sir, sit on the carpet. You're going to be fine. I said, I'm going to tell your dad that you said you don't want to learn. And that's the kid that was sitting there crying because he couldn't read anything. So love these babies enough, y'all, to do whatever it takes to make sure that they're successful. And after you've done everything that you can do for them, and maybe perhaps it still doesn't work, don't beat yourself up. You've done your best. Pray for them. Pray for the next person that receives them. Maybe it may take the next person. Okay? Pray for the parents that their eyes be opened and that they, truly discipline their child however they need to do it. Don't beat them now. Don't beat them. But yeah. I tell you, it has been a long year already. But I'm here for it and I love every minute of it. I don't like it, but I love it. Because I want to see them successful. And those that, I've witnessed it, the ones who were like behavior, yeah, they've grown. I see my former students this past year. I see them, they've grown. Literally grown. And they look so mature now. And I told them, hey, I'm going to be checking up on you now. I hope you're doing your work. Because I'm definitely going to ask your teacher. Because you can do it. There are no excuses with me. God doesn't allow me to make excuses. I'm not going to do it either. Because guess what? We're all handicapped in some kind of way in God's eyes. Can't do it by ourselves. Y'all be blessed. I need to get in the store because I didn't have my lunch today. I had to buy out of the cafeteria. I had a cheeseburger and some tots and some apples. So I got to go in here and I have a little bit of energy. So I didn't have it over the weekend. I just didn't. It seemed like I didn't have enough energy to even just order and go pick up. So I'm going to go run in here right quick and get me some little, items for this week, and we're gonna call it a wrap. Well, not necessarily, because I do have some work I need to do at home. I tried to do it at school, but we're closing early now, so I can't stay there. But that's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. You're fine. We're all fine. Everybody's going to be fine, and it's going to still be a great year. So I can't wait to see the results of my actions, and I can't wait to see how they turn around. How they turn it around. And for those of my friends who don't want to turn it around, then you know what? I'm going to keep praying for them. I'm going to keep loving them, and they're going to see. And parents will too. So y'all be blessed. Go home and get y'all some rest. And we're going to do it again tomorrow. It's going to be another day. That's why I told one of my students today, I said, well, we got to get that consequence today, but guess what? Tomorrow you have another opportunity to do it better and make better choices. So with that being said, y'all be blessed. I hope my AC did not bother y'all as much, because it's hot in here. It's hot out here, y'all. It's hot. It feels like 120 degrees. I'm just saying. So y'all be blessed. Bye-bye.